When you grow up inside one of the most famous families on the planet, there's no such thing as an ordinary childhood. That's especially true for Princess Charlotte, the only daughter of Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales. From the moment she arrived, the world has watched her every move, from those first photographs outside the hospital to her appearances on palace balconies and at royal events. On one hand, she's a little girl with siblings, school runs, and family holidays. On the other, she's a young royal whose every outfit is dissected, whose manners are applauded, and whose future will almost certainly involve a lifetime of public duty. It's a life where privilege, expectations, and global attention are all rolled into one. When Charlotte was born, the reaction inside the royal family and across the UK was pure joy. For Prince William and Catherine, it was the arrival of their second child, a younger sister for Prince George. For the country, it meant another direct descendant of the then Queen Elizabeth II, and a historic moment for the line of succession, with a princess who would not be pushed down the line simply because a younger brother might one day arrive. As soon as Kensington Palace confirmed the birth, crowds gathered outside, media outlets broke into rolling coverage, and well-wishers started pouring in from around the world. William and Catherine walked out of the Lindo wing with their newborn daughter wrapped in a white blanket, and within seconds, those images were everywhere. The couple thanked the public for the support and affection being sent their way, and royal fans immediately started speculating about names, titles, and godparents. Even before she had been taken home, Princess Charlotte was already a global figure. As she's grown, we've seen more of what life looks like for a child who is both a beloved daughter and a future working royal. Despite her young age, Charlotte is already comfortable at public engagements, whether she's stepping out for a Christmas service, waving from the balcony at Trooping the Color, or arriving for a state Thanksgiving. There's a noticeable poise about her. You can see how carefully Prince William and Catherine have been easing her into the royal world, letting her experience big moments, but always with a parent close by to guide her. Those glimpses have given the public an early idea of the kind of royal she may one day become. At events, Charlotte often mirrors her mother and grandmother's sense of decorum, knowing when to smile, when to stand still, and when to interact. We've seen her curtsy respectfully, whisper to her brothers, and quietly take in what's happening around her. It's a lot for a child to manage, but she appears to understand that she's representing more than just herself whenever cameras are present. Of course, one of the most talked about parts of Charlotte's life is her wardrobe. Even as a toddler, her outfits were being covered by the fashion press, and items she wore often sold out in hours. Over time, a clear Princess Charlotte style has emerged. Classic, traditional children's wear with a modern twist. Think floral dresses, smocked frocks, cardigans, structured coats, neat Mary Jane shoes, and bows in her hair. Behind that look is not just Catherine's eye for detail, but a small team making sure Charlotte is always appropriately dressed for whatever the day demands. Official photos and public appearances are planned well in advance, and her clothes are chosen to reflect both her age and the formality of the event. The result is that she often ends up on best-dressed lists without even trying. Parents around the world look to her as a mini style icon, and many brands benefit from what's often called the Charlotte effect, where anything similar to what she wears quickly becomes a trend. But her life isn't only royal engagements and palace corridors. When the Wales family steps out of the spotlight, Charlotte gets to experience the kind of private luxury that comes with being part of the senior royal circle. That can mean time spent at royal estates, where she and her brothers can play in the gardens, walk dogs, and enjoy a countryside childhood that's surprisingly low-key considering who their family is. It can also mean trips abroad during school holidays, where they retreat to private villas, quiet coastal spots, or high-end resorts far from paparazzi lenses. Those trips give Charlotte a chance to see the world in an unusually protected way. She has the opportunity to enjoy sunny beaches, snow-covered mountains, or historic cities with tight security and a strong emphasis on family time. Away from the formality of London, she can simply be a big sister to Prince Louis, a little sister to Prince George, and a daughter whose biggest concern that day might be building a sandcastle or learning to swim a bit better. Inside all of this, education remains one of the highest priorities for William and Catherine when it comes to their children. Princess Charlotte attends a well-regarded independent school with a curriculum designed to encourage curiosity, creativity, and academic strength. Her day isn't just maths and reading, it includes art, music, sports, and foreign languages, helping to shape a well-rounded foundation for whatever future responsibilities she might shoulder. That schooling environment also gives her a sense of normality. She has classmates, teachers, school assemblies, and homework like any other child. It's a deliberate choice by her parents, who have often spoken about wanting their children to have as ordinary an upbringing as possible within the extraordinary framework of royal life. The idea is that by walking into a classroom and learning side by side with other children, Charlotte will grow up with a stronger understanding of the world beyond palace walls. Alongside academics, she's gaining a very particular kind of informal education, an introduction to service and philanthropy. From a young age, Charlotte has accompanied her parents to selected charity events, veterans commemorations, and community initiatives. She might be too young to deliver speeches, but she is old enough to watch and absorb what it means when her parents kneel down to talk to a child in a hospice, visit a school mental health program, or meet frontline workers. Those moments matter. They're shaping her understanding of privilege and responsibility. Seeing firsthand how charities operate, how people struggle, and how the royal family can shine a light on important causes will give her context when she is older and takes on her own patronages. It's already clear she has a warm way with people, often offering shy smiles or waves that immediately put others at ease.
Her world is also filled with encounters most adults will never experience. As a member of the inner royal circle, Charlotte has the chance to meet world leaders and high-profile figures when they visit the UK or attend palace events. These are carefully managed, age-appropriate moments, but they quietly build her awareness of global affairs and diplomacy. When your grandparents host presidents and prime ministers, and your father conducts investitures and receives ambassadors, you can't help but pick up a sense of how international relationships work. One of the most special relationships Charlotte has is with her late great-grandmother, Queen Elizabeth II. While the public only saw a handful of images of them together, on the balcony, at family events, or in official portraits, there was a deeper family bond behind the scenes. For Charlotte, spending time with the Queen meant being with a great-grandmother, but also observing the woman who carried the crown for over 70 years. That is a living example of duty and resilience that very few children grow up with. Even if she was young, those memories and stories will follow her as she grows into her own role. When it comes to the more formal, glamorous side of royal life, Charlotte is already familiar with some of its grandest traditions. Major royal occasions, jubilees, state celebrations, big weddings, and commemorative events often include highly choreographed evenings where senior royals and guests gather in ornate rooms, wearing their best gowns, uniforms, and jewels. Charlotte isn't yet old enough for glittering tiaras and late-night banquets, but she has been present at the periphery of some of these occasions, seeing the pageantry up close. As she grows older, it's very likely she'll start to attend more of these formal evenings, watching orchestras play, seeing ballrooms lit by crystal chandeliers, and learning the unspoken rules of royal hosting, how to greet guests, how to move through a room, how to balance warmth with formality. For those inside the palace walls, these aren't fairy tale scenes. They are part of the job. But for a young princess, they are also undeniably magical experiences that most children only read about. What's interesting about Charlotte's life is how early the balance between luxury and responsibility has to be managed. Yes, she has access to beautiful clothes, historic homes, and unforgettable trips, but she also carries, even now, the knowledge that people are watching her. Every wave from a balcony, every expression at a public event becomes a talking point. William and Catherine seem determined to ground her despite that, making sure that beyond the dresses and the cameras, she understands kindness, empathy, and hard work. Looking ahead, there's no doubt Princess Charlotte will play a significant role in the future of the monarchy. She's not a spare hidden on the sidelines. She's a directly in-line granddaughter of a king, the only daughter in her generation of Wales children, and someone who will almost certainly become a key working royal when she's older. That will mean more patronages, more overseas tours, more speeches, and more scrutiny. For now, though, she's in that rare window where her life can still include school concerts, games with her brothers, and quiet evenings at home. At the same time, she can be whisked away to watch a military parade from a palace balcony, attend a cathedral service, or meet a head of state visiting London. It's that blend, one day school uniform, the next day a carefully chosen dress for a national event, that defines her lavish lifestyle more than any single luxury item. So when people talk about the world Princess Charlotte has been born into, it's not just about diamonds, palaces, and designer outfits. It's about being raised inside an institution that sits right at the crossroads of tradition and change. She has every material advantage imaginable, but she also carries the expectations of 1,000 years of monarchy and the hopes of a family determined to modernize gently without losing what makes the crown unique. As we continue to watch her grow, what will be most fascinating isn't just which coat she wears to the next Christmas service or which dress she wears to the next balcony appearance, but how she shapes that role for herself. Will she become a champion of a particular cause? Will she embrace a working life that mirrors her mother's, full of engagements and early years work? Or will she carve out a new type of royal presence that reflects her generation? Whatever path she takes, Princess Charlotte's lifestyle will always be a blend of glamour and duty. She was born into a world where private jets and private schools sit side by side with charity visits and state ceremonies. Understanding that mixture and learning how to navigate it with grace is the real task in front of her. If you're interested in how the next generation of royals is growing up, Charlotte is definitely one to keep an eye on. Her life so far is a clear window into how the modern British royal family is trying to raise children who are aware of their privileges and prepared for the responsibilities that come with their titles.